From these two documents, guys. I think you have some before we go. I think there's some room on the couch. Fill up your couch. They're upstairs in the theater watching movies if you want to put your son up in the theater. Have you been here before? No. No? Okay, well, welcome. Nathan, or can you take him over there to the theater? My phone's falling out. I don't want to wait, but I want to get started. I want to get better, guys, at starting on time. Like, I don't know if you guys ever come to the Wednesday night meeting, like we start at 8 o'clock and it's supposed to start at 7:30, and so I want to get better on time. Just because I never want to leave anyone out, so it's like, I'm just like waiting for the last people. Okay, well, you guys, thank you for coming. Are we streaming yet? Are we streaming? Okay. All right, hi everyone out there. Tonight we're going to go over the action sheet and really just dive in and figure out like where you guys are struggling, right? We've grown so fast, so quickly. I mean, 800, 900 people in the last few weeks. It's hard to really love on each of you. And, you know, from what I'm getting is that people feel lost. It's simple. This system, an 8-year-old can do it, but the key is finding a way to make it duplicate. Okay, and so everyone's like, well, I don't know what to do. We have that whole Ucrew Nation website for you guys to use, and that training section's there, but a lot of people aren't doing it. And I don't think they understand the tools that they have. So what I want to do today is really go through your tools, show you what you have, and then hopefully you guys can start duplicating that, incorporate that on your team. And so the first thing what I want to do is really kind of dissect this, right? Because everybody in this room pretty much has it, and the ones that don't, you'll be getting it soon. But this right here is everything that you need. I mean, Holly Corbin Roush made 186 millionaires from this system. So when people call me and say, I don't know what to do, you have it. You pay for it. You pay $49 for these things. Okay, so today, I want to just go through a few things. The first thing is this action sheet, and I think that this would be a good thing for us to kind of go through, and I think a lot of the questions will come. So if you have questions, I want to open it up for questions too as we go, a different setting. If you're having a very negative experience, I want to talk about that offline. I don't want it to get to be a, you know, one of those bashing things of like what's happening, especially when we're live streaming as well. So we'll keep it positive. Obviously, if you're struggling, yes, but I don't want to hear a lot of negative comments, okay? So the first thing I want you guys to take out, and you guys at home too, we're going to work from this action sheet and this action plan. Okay, for those of you who have it. Who does not have it? Okay, so you don't. So you guys are sitting next to each other, you can go over it. We're not going to go over a lot of this because there's so much of it material, so we're really going to stick to this, but I want to show you how these two work together. Did anyone in here realize that these two work together? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, good, because a lot of the questions I get, I'm like, it's right in your Bible. All this information's right here. All right, so the first thing here in this action sheet, right, is your first move. Pretty self-explanatory, right? You enroll in the sale. That's the first thing you do. You place your first order, right, obviously. And I'm just going to, a lot of these are really fundamental. We're just going to go through the whole process. All right, sign up for the LCP. Does everyone understand what that is? Right? Everybody understands? Okay. Do you know how many points that you should be on?
160.
Okay. Do you know why 160?
For qualification purposes.
Okay. So you get paid 5 out of the 8 ways if you're at 160. If you're 80, you don't get paid all the ways. So if you are in this to do it big, you should be at 160 points. Okay. Make sure that your team is. A lot of times, when Ricky and I going in that back office, your team's not at 160 or even 80. You'll be missing out. Mm-hmm. So you have to also know that you can't just sign up 2 people, right? So I had, so say for instance, you sign up 2 people, and this is the week that's not auto ship. and you're not doing anything on your lesser leg, if there's not 80 points coming in, you're not signing up people, what's going to happen is you're not going to get a check. And that's powerful because people are going back and they're saying, where am I getting paid this week? It's because the auto ship didn't roll around and you still have to have 80 points of volume going through that leg. So if you sign up one person and one side you have 80 people and another side you have one person, you're not going to get a check because you're not active. Nathan, will you turn on the air for me right over there? It's a little warm. I think I got this light shining on. So that's something, you guys, if you don't understand that, please raise your hand. Okay. All right, support from your team. Does everybody know who their upline is? And if you don't know who your upline is, you need to find out. Because a lot of times people sign up, and I was talking to someone before we started today, that when you sign up, the person that signs you up isn't always going to be the leader that you hope them to be. And that's just the way it is, right? Some people get it, they're really excited, and they quit. This is the 2%ers who will do this. It's the 2%ers that will trade their TV time to build a business, right? A lot of people don't have the grit. You have to have grit to do this. I mean, you're getting no's all the time. And so if you don't have a strong why, you won't make it. All right, so know who your support team is. Ricky and I are the head of the team. And so if you don't have a leader that's helping you, come directly to us. It doesn't matter if you're our sponsor or not. Are you sure? Okay, you're toxic though. Poor thing, okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter if your support system is helping or not, we'll help you. If there's so many leaders above you between me and probably the person you signed up. Okay, so mindset training. Has everybody went to the Ucrew Nation YouTube channel? Does everyone understand how important that YouTube channel is? That's 90% of your guys' business is mindset training. I do it, I would have to say 4 hours a day or more. I'm actually looking to get one of those sleeping pillows that have a speaker at night, because we've been taught our whole life, guys, to go to school, get a good education, and get a job. That's what we've been taught. So we have to refire and rewire everything we've been programmed to do. And it's just the way it is. And if you guys don't have a strong mindset, you will not make it. All right, so define your vision. Now this, if you go to page 23 in this book here. Okay. Go actually page 24. Like I always say, your why should make you cry. When I first started this, I think I said I wanted to help people, right? I wanted to do this and that. And then I started really digging deep. And I realized there was so much more. You know, for me, I'm just going to share a little bit with you, like everything that I've done since I've had my children, I've had to give up for my family, right? And so I'm going to cry. So for me, when I found my last company, which was network marketing, doesn't matter what company, it gave me hope that I can actually do something for myself and grow as a person, help other people without sacrificing my children and being with my children. You know, so for instance, as director of nursing, I was the prime of my career, and I had to give that up for my daughter because she wouldn't even eat, she wouldn't drink, she wouldn't do anything when I went to work. So I came home. And then I started getting into modeling, and I had to give that up because it was, my husband didn't want me away from the house, taking all these jobs. And so everything I got good at, I got stripped away because it was the mother role. And so when I saw network marketing, I felt like, wow, this is giving me hope, something I could do, so into other people, and still have a life. So you want your why to drive you, because when you get those no's, and you're on the ground, you have to have a reason to get back up, right? And whatever it is, whether it's your children are sick, and maybe you need extra money to invest in their health care, or maybe you want them in a in a private school, or maybe you're just struggling. Whatever that is, you guys, I really want you to dig deep. Okay? And they give you a list of things here that you can kind of go through, because sometimes people just don't even know how to get to that deep when they're going through their why. So it gives you a nice list here. And use these exercises. They've done a really good job, going through this and helping you try to establish your why. All right, so making a list. We'll go to number 3. Sorry, let's go to number 3. Now this is setting goals and your commitment. If you go to page 35, for a while there, this didn't make sense if you signed up in the beginning when it talks about setting goals. All right, so your personal goals to thrive. So this kind of puts in perspective, what this means. Like, what does it mean to be bronze? What does it mean to be gold, blue sapphire, diamond, etc., right? And so this here on page 35, it breaks it down into hours. Like, how many hours it's really going to take. But the cool thing is, guys, you can go so much faster than Ricky and I because you have support. Like, we don't have anyone doing calls for us. We don't have somebody when I'm working or I'm with my kids working my business like you do. So you look at us and like, oh, they're doing so great. Well, you could do better. You can go so much faster. And that's powerful because when she's working, I'm building her business. When you're working, we're building your business. That's the power of this team. Not every network marketing team works this way. So I hope you guys have value and use it. Use the system. Do not try to do it on yourself. Network marketing makes the most millionaires, but you can't do it alone. And that's why people fail, because they try to do it on their own and they quit, because it's hard. But when you have a team and a family like this, you guys could do amazing things. All right, so your goals, this is what I want you to look at, and pick what you want to be. Get a dream board. If you don't have one, put a picture of something that correlates to this, whether it's a silver, something silver, I don't know, a diamond, put silver on top. How long do you want to take to get there? Like everything that my husband and I have ever done, we've taken a picture and we posted it somewhere in our house and we saw it. If you go in my bathroom, you guys would think I'm like a schizophrenic or something. I have Post-its everywhere, telling myself what I want to do, where I want to go. And self-talk is really important. Look in the mirror, guys. Talk to yourself. I know it sounds weird. My kids are like, Mom, why do you talk to yourself? Like, smart people do it. Just don't worry about it. Just do it. So my kids are talking to themselves now. But no, I mean, like, tell yourself in the mirror. Self-talk's powerful. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to be this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do better. It works. You are what you tell yourself. What you tell yourself you are. Stinking thinking, that's huge. You have a negative thought, stop. Say it out loud. No, stop. I have it all the time, even before these events. Lord, are you going to use me like enough to sow into these people? Those thoughts in my mind, am I going to be good enough for you guys? Those things run through my mind all the time, just like they do before you pick up the phone and make calls. But you have to tell yourself to stop and think positive. Because it all starts here, guys. 10% is this. All the rest is up here in your mindset. So look at a goal, set a goal for yourself. All right, so building your list. Now we're getting into the good stuff. All right, so building your list and your prospects. Now, I don't know how I feel about doing prospects and customers. You guys could do that. I just build my list, right? I think that's on page 41. It actually gives you a breakdown here. Okay, it's a fun little exercise, I think, too. I haven't looked at it. Okay, so it's a memory jogger, right? So it gives you all these different things of how to kind of categorize your people. Like, because everyone's like, oh, there'll be like a 45-year-old or a 60-year-old on the phone even. They're like, I don't know anybody. And I'm like, you're 60 years old. You don't know anybody? Really? Like, you know everybody. But you're pre-qualifying that person. Like, you're telling them, you're taking it away and saying, oh, I don't think it's for you. But how do you know where they're at? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you know where they're at? Why would you take that? This is a gift. Why would you take it from them? The worst they can say is no. They can't hurt you. They're not going to eat you. Right? Like, I mean, what are they going to do? And if, honestly, you're just being a good friend, because in a year from now, when you're making a lot of money, they're going to look at you and say, why didn't you tell me? Like, I was totally looking for something. Or you didn't know I just had a heart attack? I would have loved to look at that stuff. So, but you're in those negative thoughts are thinking that, no, they're not going to want to do it. Or it's network marketing. Who cares? You guys do network marketing every day of your life, you don't even know it. Right? You buy a drink, oh, this was an awesome drink. Oh, I bought a TV, go to Costco. And you're selling, you just don't get paid on it. So there's nothing wrong with network marketing. It's just people have done it the wrong way. And when you do something the wrong way, no matter what you do, they're going to get negative results. This has been the most positive experience I've ever had in my life. Like, I'm sitting in a room with so many people that are just amazing. My family's getting bigger of just amazing people. How could this be bad? It's when people come in with the wrong intention, the wrong heart. And I believe everybody in this room has a really, really good heart. Their intentions are good. And if you speak from your heart, your friends are going to hear that and they're not going to feel like they're sold. I hate to be sold. And so as you're talking to your friends, always just remember that you're not trying to sell them. What you're trying to do is find out how you could be a solution in their life. You have a gift, whether it's product, business, or culture, and you're pre-qualifying them when you talk to them. Okay, so when you build your list, I personally will just build a very big list. And then I'll kind of go back and say I do a list of, say, 100. right? If you really have big dreams and goals, do a list of about 300. Okay, that's my first list was 300. And then I take highlighters and I say my first color would be pink. And these are gonna be the first 20 that I call. And then I go for my second 20, I do that in yellow. And then my third, say blue. And that's where I get my top 40, top 60. And I just go down. And I start calling. I get my mind right, I eat. I do mindset training before I do any call. Okay, so even today when I made a call, I was sitting in the car, I got on 10 minutes of mindset training and got pumped up. It's no different than stretching before an exercise, preparing your mind, right? And if you're doing that every day, it's going to get stronger and stronger, guys. If your business will only grow as much as you grow. So if you stop growing, you're not going to have a big business, because people don't buy the sale, they buy into you. There's something that you are giving them that they're buying into. Right? And so if you have something that interests them, or they see something in you that will bring them to the goal that they need, they'll buy in. And so the more valuable you become, the bigger your business will be. All right, so as we build our list, then we're going to go into like contacting them. So say you got your top 20. All right, who in this room has not made a phone call yet? Raise your hand. Okay, so there's 2. Okay, 2 people that have not made a phone call. So this is going to be good. So this is the first time here. Who in this room have went through the Getting Started training?
Has.
Or has not? Let's see, has not. Okay, you have not gone through the Getting Started training. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is, Nathan, if you want to come up here, gosh, I don't have a chair. Let me get you to sit up here with me.
Yep.
Here, dude.
I can do it.
You can sit on something hard. Right. So Nathan, okay, so Nathan, has everyone here met Nathan? He's amazing, he's one of our best friends. He actually lives like right across the street. We thought about moving like 5 times, but we can't leave because him and his family, we just love him to death. Very successful, came from like, a pretty difficult background growing up, but he's done amazing things in his life. He's a CFO of a Fortune 500 company. He came with us from our last company as well, built a massive team there, built a massive team here, highly respected among my husband and I. We love him to death. And I wanted to bring him up here so we can do some role play, but also go over this. He had a big part in creating these, and he just brings so much to this and the dynamic too. So what we're going to do, if you have your playbook, what is it, what's the title?
How to invite a prospect over the phone.
Okay. So he's going to go ahead and go through that, and I want you guys to, what we're going to do.
Looks like this. I don't know if you guys have one of these.
You should print out your playbooks,
But
right?
make sure you print them out. If you go through the Get Started training, they're all on that tab. So there's several of them.
Have you ever seen that, those playbooks there? They're scripts? Right, so these scripts, guys, are not for you guys to read. Right, you don't want to read these. You want to just get the ideas, right?
So this is really, and I'm not going to go through every word on the page, but like Francois said, these are really, they give you the concepts that you want to build into something that sounds natural for you, right? So these are the principles you'll want to incorporate. And there's just some little bullets on here that you can kind of maybe trigger some thoughts of things you might say. And then there's an example on the back, which again is not something you read. It's not something that is exactly what you need to do. But the main things are, and again, if you don't have this on you, you can print it out on from the Get Training site, the Getting Started site. So create urgency is the first thing, because if I start a phone call and I'm sitting back here and I call Francoise and I'm like, hey Francoise, how are you doing? And I'm just laid back and casual. She's going to think I've got all the time in the world for her to ask questions and to get this conversation on. My point of this conversation is to get in and get out, right? I want to set up the next step. That's all I want to do, because I don't want to be trying to explain the business. The person you're talking to is going to be watching you through this whole process, and the main thing they're going to be thinking is, can I or do I want to do what they're doing, right? So if I, oh, you've got it up here? I'll sit in a little chair. All right, so I don't know if you guys can read that from back there, but the whole point of this again is just set it up. They're going to be watching you. So if you end up, there's a guy named Randy Gage, who's one of the, he's another legend in the industry. I really like some of his stuff, and he has a saying that says, if your lips are moving, you better be pointing to a third-party tool. Just the concept being, don't try to explain the business to your prospects, right? Because they're gonna think that's how they have to build. And so you really want to get in and get out. So the whole concept of create urgency, you know, and it's gotta be, I'm not saying, you know, make up something and lie, but, you know, find some way, you know, when you can say either I only have a couple minutes, or I'm running out the door, something where you're like, hey, this is quick, but I've got something really important for you.
Right.
You want,
Because if you guys stay on the phone for 20 minutes, nothing important is happening in your life, right? So you just want to create that sense of urgency. I can tell you the week that the first week of the SEO, it got so crazy when we first did the pre-launch, that I would pick up the phone and say, I have 2 minutes. This is Connects, guys. Like, you know, we do Connects, we 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, I have 2 minutes. Ask me what you want. You can get it in or out. And it was like, here's my credit card. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So it's almost funny when you act like you have to get off the phone. They're like, oh, this is big. But if you sit for 20 minutes, one thing that happens is usually you sit and then they have to go and you never actually get to pitch what you want to pitch. You're like, oh, I just walked into the store. I got to call you back. I'm losing reception. And you're like, crap. There you go. You lost that.
so you want to set that tone right up front, that you're really quick, you've got a little bit of urgency and a little bit of passion in your voice, and then you're creating a little bit of interest. You know, I found something really big. I've never seen something this big. I'm helping start the next $1 billion company by Dallin Larson, something. And then, yeah, go ahead.
Right, so also think about who your audience is, right? If you're 20 years old and you're saying $1 billion company, it kind of sounds crazy, right? So remember who you're talking to, and don't want to oversell it, right? You don't want to oversell it. And I think that's something that a lot of times I hear people say, it's like, oh, you know, this $1 billion, and it's like, really, like, how do you know billionaires? Like, make sure you know who your audience is.
And make sure you know who you are as well, because again, when you get done thinking of how you want to do this, please stand in front of a mirror and say it out loud multiple times, and make sure that the person that's talking to you in the mirror sounds like you, right? Because it has to be authentic. I mean, you may sound silly. You talked about talking in the mirror. Please do on this one. Just trust me, because you might come up with something that you think sounds like you, but when you actually start telling it to someone, it doesn't sound like you, and that's not going to be
Or
good.
record it, and I used to do that when I first started. I used to record my story. I used to record what I sound like when I was talking to someone. That's, I think, a really powerful way as well.
And there's nothing wrong with calling a teammate or calling one of us and just practicing, right? So don't be afraid to do that kind of stuff. So the next thing that is really important is an authentic compliment. And again, this has to be authentic, right? You can't come across contrived, totally make something up. But I like to say, look, the way you're approaching people is you have something of real value, right? I mean, literally, this is a business that could pay someone up to 7 figures a year. It's a really big deal. So you've got something of real value, and you're communicating to them that not only do you have something of value, but they're someone of value to you, right? And if you do it that way, then you don't get people going, oh man, this salesy, you know, obnoxious network marketing person is bugging me. Then people think, even if they say no later, they usually will come back and say, I thank you for thinking of me and showing this to me, right? Even if they don't do it. And that's how you want it to be, because you want to preserve your friendships, right? So authentic compliment, whether you're saying, hey, look, I've always looked up to you, you've always been really successful, you mean a lot to me, whatever it is, again, has to be authentic. But that, combine it with taking their guard down, you want to take some pressure off up front. This might or might not be for you, this might not be something you're interested in, there's no pressure for you to do anything with this, but I really want you to take a look at it.
And another thing is, you know, I see it all the time, is that you know your friend would like totally kill it, right? They would do so great in this, and then you say it, and it's almost they're like, ooh, and they don't want to do anything. So don't say, you know, I think you're awesome and you would rock it. Like, you totally do this so awesome. Don't say any of that, because it's almost like that car salesman type of thing, is when you walk up there, the guy's like, this car is for you. You're like, no, I want to pick my own car, right? Like, it just puts a lot of pressure on them. And that's the biggest thing, is making them know, like letting them know that, hey, this is something I just want you to take a look at. Are you open? I never say interested. I feel like it puts them in the business. I would say, are you open and taking a look, right? Or just saying, you know, yeah, that's good.
Okay. Sure. And then from there, you're going to be asking them, if I send you a link to a short video, can you watch it, right? And if you teed that up correctly, odds are they're gonna say, sure, I can watch a short 6-minute video, right? And then the real magic is, and actually, well, I guess we do hit on it, set the follow-up time is, great, when can we get on the phone tonight or tomorrow, give them maybe a couple options at the most. When can we follow up on it? And I like to say, because the video's not gonna tell you everything you need to know, because people like to try to make a decision when they watch the video, and I try to plant that seed up front. Look, you can't make a decision off the video, so that's why we need to get on the phone. And then you can tell them you're going to introduce, you've got a business partner, a mentor that's helped a lot of people succeed, and you want them to be there, or you can just.
I usually don't tell them.
I usually don't, but some people do. So it's up to you.
They're like, what? I don't want to talk to you. You tell me. So right here, after you ask them, can you watch the video? They said yes. Said, can you? Honestly, I would just say, can you watch it now? Do you have a few minutes now? You can watch it, and I just jump back on the phone with you, and I'll call you back in 10 minutes, and they'll say yes. And then literally try to find someone. I'm telling you, whether it's, if you call me or Ricky and you're doing a connect really quick, if I can't do it, I'll find somebody on the team. I don't care if they're your lead or not. Dr. Eric, Nathan, Sebastian, somebody to do your connect. So if you have one, don't be afraid if it's not logged into the Cozy, right? And if it's not logged into Cozy as a scheduled appointment, we can still do it. That is something I would actually, or if you know you're going to be making calls, like for instance, say you're like, okay, this 30 minutes, I'm going to be making calls. You just text your upline, whoever that is, and say, hey, listen, I'm about to make calls in the next 30 minutes. Are you available? They'll usually say, yes, I am, or no, I'm not. And if not, do you know someone else who is? And they'll usually contact us, or if it's us directly. Yeah.
If you do what Francoise first said, where you say, hey, can you watch it right now? And you say yes. So then you've got 6 minutes while they're watching that video. So you send it to them, and then you got 6 minutes. Then you're texting in the background, Francoise, can you do a connect in about 5 minutes or not? And then, so don't wait till last second, then just call.
If you're having a problem sending the video and then maybe people are not interested, is anyone having that issue? Or maybe you say, okay, yeah. So there are some people, now I usually follow something like this, but today I called, why do I know if I say this? Okay, I'm not gonna say that. All right, so today I called somebody on my chicken list. Right? And I didn't want to send the video right away because I wasn't sure. But I wanted to tell him my why, and I wanted to tell him how amazing I thought he was. Right? And so I did that on the front end. So you guys have to understand, everybody's different. It's the same system. You can move it around and do what works for you. But if you think that video is going to not be good for that person, maybe they'll think it's cheesy or it's too salesy, don't use it. Right? Don't use it. It's okay. You can always send it to them after, because most of the time, if they're going to do this the right way, they're going to make an educated decision and they're going to do some research. And I love that when people said, I want to do research. People are upset I couldn't close them on the phone. Well, then they're coming in on emotional response. And you know how that usually works out. Easy in, easy out. But if they go and they do their research and they've looked into it and they've committed that they want to put this in their life, it's better results. And so at that point, you can always send them the video later. So what I would do is I would plan your time that you want to make your calls, get a connect schedule and say, hey, I'm about to call somebody, tell them my why, and hopefully maybe I can jump you on the phone at, say, 1:50. So I did that to Corbin today. I said, Corbin, I'm about to get on the phone with someone today. I might need your help. Can you be available? He says yes. It's okay if I don't call because he knows I've got it. But this way you have that backup. Because some of your friends, when you call them, they just want to hear your why. And once you hear their why, all their guard goes down yeah. And when they say when they hang up and say, I'm excited, thank you, you know you've done a good job and you mastered the invitation. Once you get a thank you and someone's excited, you can just give yourself a pat on the back because you've mastered it. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you can just master this invite, you'll be a millionaire. Because this is the hardest part, is this part right here. When you go to pick up that phone, it feels so heavy, right? And we've made a lot of calls, and I still get nervous. I mean, just like everyone else, I think I even text Corbin, I'm a little nervous about this one. But it's okay, because it's excitement. It's excitement. But I know what I have as a gift, so I'm confident. And I'm prepared. I've stretched. I've listened to my mindset training before. I'm ready to go. I'm motivated, and I'm excited. And I don't sit down in one place and do my calls. I move, right? Get that nervous energy out. And I just stop thinking about what they're thinking and just speak from here.
The key is, again, your whole goal with this is to get them on the phone with a leader, right? So that's your whole goal, right? So setting that follow-up time is really, really important, and then you just get off the phone. Like, hey, I gotta run. Don't hang out on the phone. You don't want to get sucked into a conversation.
Yeah.
Because they're very likely to say, well, what is it? Tell me a little bit. You know, because they want to know, and that's when you want to be like, no, I can't do it in a few minutes here, but I really want to make sure you have all the information you need. So let's get back together at X time.
So you're on a mission.
Yeah.
Okay. Like think of you guys being on like the battlefield or something. Your goal is to get in, get that appointment, and get out. Do not stay. The longer you stay, the more questions they ask, and you're digging yourself into a hole. Right? You want that sense of urgency. You want that passion. You want that excitement. And then I gotta go. Hey, listen, well, I got a call coming. I'll just catch up with you later. I'll talk to you at 1. I'm gonna send you that link right now. Just send me a thumbs up to let me know you got it, right? Always get something back, because a lot of times maybe the link doesn't play or whatever, so you wanna make sure they have it so when you call them at say 1 o'clock. All right, so now what I wanna go into is the main thing I think that builds our business the biggest is that 3-way call. I hope you guys are using Connect. I know you guys don't use me. And I don't know, they might, I don't know if you're on Nathan's team, but you might not be using him, but a lot of you guys are building, and I know you're doing it on your own. And to me, I think you're just missing it. You really are, because people actually value that Connect, because they can see that they don't have to learn anything. There's power in that. Like how easy is it to say, all I gotta do is cut and paste a link and do a 3-way call and I can make money? And I can earn while I learn? That's pretty powerful. You guys, like Ricky and I, what we've done is we just hitched our wagon to somebody that really knew what they were doing and did exactly what they did. And we listened. Every time I was on the phone on a 3-way call, a Connect call, I was taking notes because it was gold. Because it's important to know what you need to know. Right? Because you can go through this stuff, you can go through the product page and try to learn all that stuff, but you don't need to know. It's not going to build your business. It won't duplicate. Nathan can know everything about these products, but that right there will hurt his business more than anything. You vomit on somebody, all your knowledge, you're like, I can never do that. Because the whole time you're presenting, they're looking at you and saying, I can never be as good as she is. Can't do it. I don't have the time to do that. I don't have the time to invest in it. But if you show them that an 8-year-old can do it, oh, that was easy. All I have to do is call this girl and she'll build my business. That's awesome. And what happens is when you're doing those 3-way calls, they're learning. It's on the job training. And they are learning the things they need to know. It's super powerful. I mean, Ricky and I are only here today is because we did that. We listened every time our sponsor talked. We just wrote down, and then we were like parrots. We just repeated everything we all should sound exactly alike. And by the end of it, you guys, I do the same thing every Connect. Has anyone been on a call with me? Okay. Do I do the same thing every time?
Yeah.
I do, don't I? And I want to show you something that I don't know if you guys know, is this tool here, before we go into the Connect. Is this thing right here. The 5 pillars. Have you guys looked at this?
That comes in the welcome pack.
Have you seen it? Have you ever really looked at it? This is when you're talking to your friends. This is what I want you to go through. This should be in your why, right? This should be in your why. And I'll tell you. And if you listen to me on a Connect, I go over every one of these points because this is what the company wants you to go over. Because this is what counts. I don't want to talk for 20 minutes and not tell them why they should be doing the business. So these pillars here, I don't know if we can pull out, where is that? The documents, but okay, the ones that don't have this. The first thing they talk about is the world-class leadership, right? So that is a big thing. If you don't want to talk about Gallon being the billionaire, talk about he's a world-class leader, right? He's won multiple awards, right? The Entrepreneur of the Year. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, you don't have to say he's a billionaire, but you can say he took his last 2 companies to $1 billion. This is where you're getting your points from. Right? And look at your audience. Disruptive science and products. Right? People might not even know what a liposome is. Right? So use some points that maybe that will be, more layman's terms, where they're not losing them like, I don't know what a liposome is. What are you talking about? And the whole time you're talking about your 5 other points, they're trying to figure out what the liposome was. Right? And so, figure out how you want to present it and then do the same thing every time. It's like riding a bike. You don't want to recreate the wheel all the time. When I do my Connects, because the reason why they're so powerful is because I do the same thing over and over again. I sometimes will highlight different things out of my story, depends on who my audience is. If I'm talking to somebody who's a single mom, I'm going to talk more about the things that she values. And so in the first part of that call, right, there should be edification, right? So that, say you're doing that connect call and you call me, right? There's a part of it that, everyone know what edification is? Okay, do you know why we do that? Anyone know why? Tell me why. Anyone? Okay, why do we do edification?
That way the person that's on the phone knows a little bit about the person that's about to tell them the details, and therefore they look up to someone who's successful.
Right, so not that we want to sound cool and everyone be like, oh wow, Francois and Ricky or Nathan, right? But isn't it kind of yucky when someone talks about themselves? Like, doesn't it kind of turn you off when you're like, me, right? And so that's what happens when you guys don't edify me, right? Or Nathan. We have to get on the phone and we're like, oh yeah, I did this and this and that. So when you do that, I don't get to form a conversation with them. Because now I'm talking about me instead of asking about them. How cool is it when you meet somebody and they really are interested in you? Isn't that awesome when they're actually asking questions? But if you guys don't edify the leader correctly and say, you know, this is Francoise, you know, she's awesome, her and husband broke a company record, they're really good people, they're really family oriented, whatever you want to say, they're building the biggest team of Viseo, or what, I don't care what you say. Or maybe you're talking to a nurse. Oh yeah, she's the director of nursing, she's been really successful, or maybe talk to my husband who's built, you know, $1 million companies. Whatever you say, then when I start, I'm like, oh, okay, well, tell me a little about you. Right? Because I have to build myself up if you don't do it. Because they're not going to listen to a word I'm going to say. So I have to, you know, bow up. But if you do it for me, then I can just open up to them and start asking them, and then I can pre-qualify them. Because that's what my goal is. When I get on the phone, I'm pre-qualifying your prospect and figuring out which way I should steer that ship. Right? Because you have a consumer, and then you have a prospect that might be a customer, right? And so in that little form, family, occupation, recreation, and what's the last one?
Money.
And money, right? So that's what we're trying to form, right? Trying to figure out where to go. Because if I'm sitting here talking to him and he's not interested in the products at all, I'm not going to go into liposome technology because he's money driven. So he's tuning me out. So I've just wasted 10 minutes talking about the liposomes. He could care less because he wants this. But if I'm talking to him and he's really sick, he's having health issues, he doesn't care about the money, so why waste time on that, right? And so in that moment, that edification, that lines our whole, you know, connect call to be so powerful. And then they open up to you because they're like, wow, this girl's cool. She's actually interested in me. She's not trying to sell me. And we're just trying to figure out if it's right. Because I say all the time when I'm on the phone, if it's not right for you, I'll say it. I was just on the phone with a young lady the other day, and I was uncertain that it wasn't right for, I wasn't sure the Viseo was right for her, and I took it away. And she said, you know, she actually signed up, but she was so happy that I did that because it made her think for a second to determine whether this is right for her. Because the last thing I want, and I think you guys should want this too, is to bring someone in your business that's not going to do something. It's going to ruin everything we're building. The last thing I want is an extra $150. Because it's not what we do today, it's what we do in 2 years from now. It's when we're sitting on a yacht in 2 years, traveling the world together. That's the residual that we're looking for, is we can make money when we sleep. I don't care about what I'm making today. Our check, our $34,000 check, that was amazing, I'm thankful for it, but that's not what I'm looking for, that fast money. I'm looking for the residual, and that's what you guys should be looking for, right? It's not about these little checks, it's what we're building together as a family. So every wrong person you sign up takes away from your family and your spouse and your husband or your wife. And so I'll say that. I don't want you to do it if you're not all in, because I'm going to take 7 hours away from my children. Every wrong person I sign up and mentor. And so as much as they're interviewing me, I'm interviewing them. And you believe it. I'll say it if I'm on the phone with them. This is not right for you, I don't think it's for you. Maybe you should just go to the website and order some products. And I think you should all think that way too. Because it's not just about adding to your team, it's quality. Quality, not quantity. Because they're going to quit anyway.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they're going to quit anyway.
And that's going to come through in the posture. If you're thinking that way, that's going to come through in how you communicate. Not in a I'm looking down on you or a conceited, arrogant, condescending kind of way, but it comes through that you don't have. I heard someone use the phrase the other day that Francois thought was funny, was you don't want to have commission breath.
Right. It's so gross. Doesn't it say gross? It sounds like
where if you're like trying to get a sale and you're really worried about getting that, it's like, oh,
It sounds
what
so
is that,
nasty, right? Yeah.
So have the right posture, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, the posture is important, and people really, they gravitate to that, somebody that's confident about what they have, so.
Can I add one
Yes,
thing on
please,
that?
yes.
So the edification, the other magical part about the edification, and by the way, another playbook, this is on the Get Started section of the website. It's how to conduct a three-way call with a leader, and it talks about on the bottom, edification is critical, right? So it's on there, so you can look it up. But the other magical part of it is at the end of it, once you've edified, so let's say I'm doing a call for Crystal, and Crystal edifies me, right? Then the person that's sharing the business is then, looking up to me somewhat, because she's just, said things about myself I would never say. And then, so they're listening to me. But the other magical part is at the end of the process is I'm going to turn around and then I'm going to edify Crystal. And then that edification becomes more meaningful because I'm already built up in this person's mind, right? And so it's for your own benefit as well that you edify us. Now, again, it needs to, if it comes across like you're being grandiose or being over the top, that it's not going to play. It's got to be, it's got to be authentic. But don't be afraid if you're working with a new leader and you don't know how to edify them, ask them, right? We'll tell you the things to say that we wouldn't say about ourselves, right?
Yeah. I'm also going to make a document of how to add like each of a few points for each of the leaders that you guys can just print out from the Ucrew page. I will do that. I'll do that. Let me make a note. I'll do that the next week. I actually started working on I started working on it, just haven't finished it. Another one of my things on my list. But no, and it's important because when you guys are on the phone, you're edifying. Your friend's wondering, why is this person on the phone anyway? And so that's why, another reason why we've made so much money in our last company, because we edified the heck out of our leader. When he talked, they were like they just were sitting on the end of, was it right? We made him read like the best things since sliced bread. And so it was amazing. So if you put us on that pedestal, they're like, wow, this person's amazing. This is what my friend that I love thinks of. And then at the end, like he said, and then when I edify Nathan, and they're like, wow, they think that of Nathan. And people really want that community. They start feeling that culture, and it's like infectious. Because people don't talk nice about people anymore. You don't hear your friends do that. Like, think about how nice it is on a phone call when you hear someone say, Kat, she's doing big things. I'm amazed by what she's done, how many people she's helped, how motivated, driven she is. She's like, oh. I mean, everybody loves to hear about themselves. And think about when you take a picture. The first thing you look at is you. If you look good, you say you like it, right? So people love to talk about themselves, right? And the next person might be like this, and you're like, all this crazy stuff, but you know it's a great picture. But that's true. So people like hearing about themselves, and it's a very powerful concept. All right, so we do have edification.
It's on the three-way.
Oh, does it better?
Oh, you said full TV screen.
Ah, see, this is why we're a team.
As long as, while she's looking that up, you'll also see on the document, when you're making the introduction on the three-way call, you're also edifying the prospect to the leader. Because again, people like to hear good things being said about them as well. So.
Yeah, so this is it. It's pretty much what just went. We've really covered it really well.
Well, you got the whole edification part down here.
Yeah, and it kind of walks you through, guys. We spent a lot of time on these. We really did. We work till midnight every night on this team. Nathan and I sat up many nights, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. We put a lot of thought into it. This is 2 years of grinding right here. Like, people would pay for this stuff. That's why I locked these sites down, because people would pay for it. What we've done, nobody else in this whole company has done, guys. And so this stuff is gold. People will sit and pay $4,000 to sit on at their feet for 2 days to get this training. You guys get it for free. So I want you to hold value in that. Okay, so what's the next thing we got to cover?
I think you wanted to hit objections.
Objections, yes. We went through those both, too? Okay.
We did? Yep.
Yeah, okay. So objections, no?
The only other thing, just to point out, we won't go over it because it's very similar to the inviting on a phone call, but there's also one, how to invite a prospect to an event. Very similar, but it has a little nuance to it, so that's on the site.
So yeah, when you guys are inviting people to an event, like texting does not work at all. So if you're texting, you're wondering why your friends aren't coming, it's because you're texting them. How impersonal is that? I pick up the phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to come tonight. Do I need to pick you up? Like, you have to come. If it's at your home, I don't care if you want to do this or not, just support me. Just come, I need another person in the room. And the same thing on the phone. Like, if your friends are not interested, well, I need the practice anyway. Can you sit through a presentation? They'll sign up. Promise you, they all do. And it's funny because people are just so negative. You have to tell somebody 7 times before they say yes. And sometimes they just have the whole wrong concept of network marketing in general, right? That icky feeling, I don't want to do it. I mean, that was totally me, by the way. I was just like, I don't want to be a part of network marketing. I didn't understand what it was because it was only shown network marketing by an amateur. Never was shown by a professional. Had no clue you can make the money you can. Had no clue you could help the people you can. Had no clue the products were as good as what they are. Because typically, GNC, vitamin shot, that stuff's crap. Says it's going to help you lose weight. Yes, while you're using it, it's like a diuretic, but when you get off of it, you gain it right back. Or it has, you know, like ingredients this long in it that's really counteracting everything you really want to do. All the ingredients are crap. So here you have, it's like you're shopping at a boutique. That's like shopping at Walmart, you know? And so we have great products. So everything we have to offer someone is just phenomenal. Really is. All right, so what I'm going to go through some objections, because I think that's what people have a lot of questions on is the objections part. And I want this to be more interactive, or do you want to do, before we do that, do you want to do some role play?
We're good?
Do you guys want to see some role play? I mean, would that help? Yeah. Where you at? Okay. All right, so you want to call me?
All right, I'll call you, then you call me.
Okay.
So this will highlight the fact that, I mean, there's not one exact right way to do it, right?
Right.
There's the principles that we highlighted, you want to make sure you work in. But, all right, so. Mind training. So step one, he's listened to 10 minutes, right? At least of someone. Holton Bugs, get you going. Have anyone watched or hasn't watched Holton Bugs on YouTube, on the Ucrew, so many Ucrew things. Ucrew channel on YouTube. Under the, I think it's self-development. It's the one that says 32 different playlists. That's the one you want to go to. Holton Bugs is amazing. Get you going. Okay, so you've done that. The other thing is stand up.
Stand up, move around.
Move around. If you're sitting there, it comes across. And I'm not going to do it because I'm going to feel really cheesy doing it in front of you, but smile. They can hear you. They can hear you smiling through the phone, believe it or not, right? So.
Right. Oh, and you know what I do too, guys? Every time, I have a pen and paper with me. I'm taking notes. Because you're if it happens this way, you have to kind of go with it. But if you end up talking for 2-3 minutes and you hear some nuggets, some things about their life, write them down. Because they're telling you what they need. If you listen and you just don't talk all the time, they'll tell you exactly what they're looking for.
All right, so, ring, ring.
I'm not answering first of all. Keep it ringing.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Francoise, this is Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
Oh, awesome. Well, hey, look, I've just got a couple minutes. I'm running out the door, but I have found the biggest opportunity that I've ever seen in my life. And you know how much I love you guys, and you're a huge part of my life, and I really respect the success that you've had. So I'd really like you to take a look at it. There's no pressure. You might or might not be interested, but I'd love to send you a short video. It's about 6 minutes, and if I do that, could you watch that for me?
Yeah, that sounds interesting. What is it?
You know, I don't really have time to get into it right now, but it's really important for me to make sure that you can see what it is that I'm up to. So if I send it to you, could you watch it and then we set up some time, maybe 10-15 minutes later today that we could go through it and I can answer all the questions that you've got?
Yeah, hold on, let me look at my schedule real quick because I don't know. I'm about to go out to the gym and then I have to do some errands, so hold on, let me see. Well, why don't I just call you later? And I don't know, you know, I have to get with Ricky. I probably want Ricky around, right? Or no?
I think, well, if you can get Ricky, that would be best. So how about, I'll tell you what, because I'm pretty booked up tonight. So how about, I mean, I've got 8 or I've got 9 o'clock open. Could we make one of those work?
Yeah, okay, I'll just text you a little bit later and then we'll figure out a time.
Should be tough.
You have it all the time. Keep control. You have to take control.
So, you know, I've only got those couple windows tonight. And I do have a time slot tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Could we? But it's really going to be best for me if we could just pick a time that'll work.
Okay, let's just go ahead and say, I guess, let's after kids are in bed. You said 9?
I could do 9 o'clock.
Okay, let's do 9 o'clock. All right.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, so I'll call you back then, and I'll shoot you the video right now, and just give me a thumbs up, let me know it came through, and look forward to talking to you then.
Okay, thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Right.
All right, bye.
Okay, so typically people just don't know what their schedule looks like. That's realistic, right? But the goal is to make sure you just don't say, okay, you call me, because they don't even know how important it is. They don't know about the time. They don't know about the founder kit. They have no idea, right? So they're gonna forget, and then you become that telemarketer chasing your friends, and that's a yucky feeling. So think of it like dating. You always want to be on the up. Control, 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 control. Okay? All right. Anyone have any questions on that? Any questions that you're getting when you're making calls? Are they going like this?
Like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Well, I will
But
tell
I'm
you,
not persistent, like I'm not like
Yeah.
trying to get that date and time, like
That-
I'm usually just like, because it's like friend,
Yeah.
okay, well, hear back from me later.
Right.
that last time, it was really tempting,
Yeah.
just to say, okay,
Yeah.
text me later.
So what I would have done too in that situation is like, all right, look, I'm gonna put you down at 8, okay? Talk to your husband. If that doesn't work, text me back a different time that works, right? And that's what I would send too. This way you're still, you know, if I don't hear from you, I'll text you. Like, whatever it is, you always wanna leave where you have the opportunity to call or text them back, right? And there are situations where that person is totally like, no, no, no. But I'll say, okay, well, you check with your wife and I'll check back with you later. So you're still in control, even though they can't give you a time, you're still keeping control of checking back with them later.
And then you have to check back.
And you have to check back.
Yeah.
The fortune is in the follow-up. If you follow up, your fortune will follow.
I have a question.
Okay? Yes.
I personally think that the video is cheesy.
Yes.
So I'm sure that I probably give that off as like a little bit like insecure about sending it out. So how would you do a phone call when you're not going to send a video?
Okay, so you're gonna tell your why.
Okay.
And you're gonna set up a call. So say you're calling 5 people, and each call should be 2 or 3 minutes if you're just sending the video after, right? But so did you get what I'm saying there? Right. But if you're gonna tell somebody your why, you wanna give about a 15-minute window, and then schedule a connect at like about 15 minutes. So you would say, okay, hey Barbara, how you doing? Go through that whole list of compliments. Tell them the reason how you got involved in Viseo, right? Your why, right? And I want you to practice your why. Where you were, what you saw, what you did, and where you're going. And the more you do that same thing over and over again, the better it's going to become, and the more powerful it's going to become. So once you share their why, you say, I just want to, do you mind, I'm just going to, I have my good friend that's helping me with this. I would love for you to hear her story. Do you have a few minutes? I can just put her on the phone. Or just say, actually my business partner's beeping in. Hold on a second. And just conference them in. Oh, she just called, right? And you can always conference them in that way. She just called, and I wanted to, since she was calling, I just decided I would just patch her in. And it doesn't matter. It's okay. People are just nervous about talking to other people. So whatever you have to do to make that transition smooth, I would just do it.
And it works.
And it works.
Is there an alternate video that you would suggest that's more product-based?
So I send to, so today, my chickenless guy, I personally, I love those videos that Dallin created. I just think it's time for a new one, right? And I voiced that to Dallin, he's working on it. So the 2 I chose to use, and they're all great, depends on your audience, right? I did the 1 minute of Dallin that highlights the Entrepreneur of the Year, all his awards. Remember that quick one? It's really, really good production, high quality. You should never feel embarrassed about that. That shows you why this is a billion-dollar company. The quality is phenomenal. Then I send that little clip of Dr. Emmett Blair just talking. And then right after that one, I send the one of the product video that we show at the meetings that just goes through all the products really quick. Very high quality, good production there. So those are my 3 probably that I would send. I think the one of them sitting there talking is so powerful, but I think right now we've moved to a different audience. Like that was the capture of the Monavi. Everybody that's seen that vision saw the Monavi. Now we're in like a different generation, I think, of people that we need to target. So those would be my suggestions.
I agree with that. And then, so could you guys go a step further with that role play, or just an explanation on the next step after when you do the follow up? Where do you start that call, and then how do you lead it where you say?
Oh, the person on the phone. Okay, so now you're calling me, and Kat could be your, we'll have Kat be your leader. Right, so just think that I'm your prospect,
Okay.
right? Or you want me to do it the other way? Do you want me to act like I'm calling you?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Either way.
Okay, I think for, just because it's the same scenario, let's
I was
just.
gonna have you invite me so I can give you a hard time.
Okay, let's do that, okay. All right, so we'll do that and then we'll lead in through there. I think he's more comfortable with that. Okay, so, I'm calling you. So, ring, ring. Ring, ring. Oh, I'm gonna get it, guys. You're gonna get it. Right, walk around for real. Go ahead. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Nathan, what's up?
Hey, not much. What's up with you, Francois?
Nothing. What are you doing?
I'm just chilling.
Yeah, you got a few minutes?
I do.
Awesome. Well, I want to share something with you. So Ricky and I partnered up with some really successful people, and they were involved in the launch of a company called Viseo. And honestly, it's probably the biggest opportunity I've ever seen, and I want to share it with you. What I would like to do though, because there's a lot of information, and so what I would really like to do is just send you a quick video for you to watch, and then after you watch it, we can just jump on the phone and circle back and you tell me what you think.
Is this like a pyramid thing?
What do you mean a pyramid thing? What are you talking about? Ain't those illegal? I've never been involved in one of those. What are you talking about? Like a network marketing thing?
Yeah.
Yes, it is network marketing. You didn't know I joined a network marketing company last year?
No.
Oh yeah, it was probably the best experience of my life. But yes, it is a network marketing company. My husband and I really fell in love with the industry. It's a way to really leverage your time and make a residual income. I mean, is that something you'd be interested in, maybe making a residual income?
Well, I might be. So I'll tell you what, I'll take a look at it.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to send you a quick video. Do you have a few minutes now? You can watch it. It's about 4 minutes.
No, I'm completely tied up right now.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'll send it over, and then what does your day look like?
Oh, a lot of Cheetos and reruns.
Anyway, so
I could probably do 8 o'clock.
okay,
How about
8 o'clock. Is there any way that Teresa could be available around 8 too? Because it's like a family bit, so I would love for her to be there.
Okay, yeah, I'll see if she can join.
Okay, so I'm going to send the video now. Just send me a thumbs up, make sure it can open, right? And then I'll call you at 8 o'clock, and I'll probably try to get Ricky there too, and the four of us can talk.
Okay.
And if you have any questions like before then, feel free to text me. I'm
Okay.
around today, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
All right, so that's a typical call. And sometimes I just ignore questions, stupid questions, right? Like you saw my, right? So then I start telling my why, right? Because I could have started talking about what a network marketing company is and talk about the pyramid scheme, and then I would just sound really salesy, right? And then it's like reading from a script. So then I just told them what my heart was. And so they said, no, first of all, pyramids are illegal, right? And just say that I'd never be involved in one of them. And yes, it's a network marketing, but be confident, your posture, be confident and say, yes, it's amazing. Like, if you had a big check, yeah, I've done it for X amount, had a nice check, or you know, working with some really amazing people, and talk about whatever your experience, everyone has a different experience in this room. So now it is 8 o'clock, right? And I'm calling him back. All right, and so now he's hopefully sitting with Teresa, his wife, because guys, if you do a connect or you do a presentation without the spouse, you're gonna get the spouse rocket saying, forget it, I don't wanna be involved because they haven't heard it, and the spouse is trying to tell them something, and they have no idea what they're saying, and they're just spewing all this information. It's like, no, you can't spend $1,500. None of it makes any sense. It's just a gimmick, it's just a fad. But because it's like this liposome thing, they're like, I don't know what that is. But like if you do it together, it's so much more powerful. And I always think about when Ricky goes and looks at a car and wants to bring it home, like, no, we're not buying that. But if we did it together, it'd be different, especially if it's the wife, right? Right? It's always the wife touching the wife with you. All right, so let's go. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Nathan, it's Francoise.
Hey, Francois.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. You?
Good. Is it still a good time?
Yeah, I was in the middle of the bag of Cheetos, but I can make it work.
Okay, cool. All right, so listen, is Teresa with you?
She is not able to join.
Aw, what's going on?
Oh, she's just running around chasing the kids.
Okay. Will she be available like 10-15 minutes? Can after the kids are going down to bed? Because I have a free time like 30 minutes or so. Would that be cool?
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I think I can grab her now. Hold on a second.
Okay.
We'll
So you
look
just,
at
Right, so you want to push, and if they say, you know, she's putting the kids to bed, she's not available now, try to push it for like another 30 minutes if you can.
Yeah.
But if not, don't cancel,
Right.
just do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Okay, so Teresa?
Yes.
All right, so you guys were able to watch the video, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, awesome. Well, what I would like to do is, you know, before we begin, all right, hold on, actually, let's see, hold on, before, I'm trying to think of how we're going to, your question was?
Just leading into that, when you get them on the phone,
Yeah.
like,
How do you
not
transfer?
feel like,
Okay, gotcha.
you
Okay, so
know,
make sure I
ask them,
cover it.
obviously they've
Okay.
watched the video and then
All right,
what?
so I wanted to share this with you, Nathan. Like I said, you guys are just, you know, super awesome. I think you're amazing people, and I know you're into health and wellness, but also very business-minded. And so my husband and I, we saw this company, and I was surprised that you know we joined a network marketing company last year, but we did, and we did some cool things there. I'm not going to make my story too big, right? Because you guys don't have such a massive story, right? So we joined a network marketing company last year, and we just fell in love with the industry, and you know, we saw this one company, Viseo, right? And you know, there were a few things that my husband and I were really excited about the company, right? Because there's a lot of network marketing companies out there, but I felt like all of this new company had everything I was really looking for. One, you know, that there's world-class leadership, right? That was big. Who's really in charge of this company? Also, you know, the product base that we were going to be sharing with people, it was disruptive. Nobody else had it. It wasn't a Me Too company. That's really cool. You know, it was new science. The timing was really good, and obviously you'll say this kind of in your own words, right? But I would go down this and put that into your life, and this is why, you know, I really like this. And then tell your story. You know, my family and I, we've been looking for residual income, or, you know, I was really interested in the health benefits of it. And then, you know, I just thought there was a way to make extra money, and I would love to help out my husband financially. So whatever your why is, you kind of incorporate it, and then you say, but you know, actually, you know, I'm working with a group of people that are just really successful, and I don't know, like, I don't know everything, and so what I've done, I scheduled them to jump on and help me with this call. So could you hold on a second? I'm just going to call my business partner, and you just click over, and then you just patch them in.
Now, notice she didn't ask me if she could patch someone in.
Yeah.
She
So
just
I
told me
do it.
that's what she was doing, and she did it.
And I just do it. And so you click, and they're like, and you click over, okay, so friends, who am I calling? Oh, Kat, you there? And she's like, yes. All right, and then I say, Kat, no, I say, Nathan, you there? Teresa?
Yes.
Okay, listen, so this is Kat, she's my business partner. Like I said, I'm so new at this, but she's helping me, she's amazing. She, in the last company that we were in, she broke a bunch of records, she had a really large team, just really successful. She's a stay-at-home mom, just like you, Teresa, so she was looking for a way to help, you know, her spouse make a little extra money, and she's just made, you know, really good choices in business, and she's just a leader, and I'm so excited that we have her on the call. So Kat, this is my good friend, Teresa, Nathan, they're awesome, they're like best friends to us, and I really respect them, and I'm just excited that they're open to even looking at this. So I'm going to let you take over, and I'll be quiet.
Great. Nathan, Teresa, how are you doing?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Now, one thing I would add to that, though, is I usually, because sometimes it's helpful to me if you can frame up a little bit to Kat in that situation, kind of where I'm at, you know, like, oh, they just watched the videos, and now we're following up.
Okay, well,
and telling your story. Sometimes I like
You
to
can
kind
do
of
that.
point them in the direction a little bit, because sometimes someone gets you on the phone and they're like, hey, this is them. And you're like, okay, where do I go from there?
Yeah,
And then you're trying to dig around a little bit to figure out where they are.
Right, okay, so when you get a leader on the phone, they should have watched the videos. Like, that should be a must, right? I usually will ask to.
Except we just talked about not watching.
Right. So yeah, right. But typically they should send them something, right? Whether it's the maybe not that main video we're talking about, but I would send them something, because it does put things in perspective to have that visual, have a picture, right? So I think you should send the video. Just pick the ones that you like, whether it's just the product video or just Emmett Blair talking about whatever. Just send them something. Yeah. So I think that was really good. And then that's the part where he's really gonna, or she's gonna start saying, is, you know, so what do you do? Now she's edified, right? She's edified, we know why she's on the phone, she's really successful. Now I'm listening to her. But then we're really just gonna go into the part where we say, so what do you do? Right? Oh, are you single, or do you have children? And then you start relating, okay? And at that time, you have a pen and paper, and you start writing down, this is a trick, this is a golden nugget, write down the actual words they say, okay? Then, if they say that I'm looking for financial freedom, if you repeat that in your conversation, all of a sudden, they think you're like-minded, and they'll listen to you even more, because you're using the same words they use. So start writing down what they say, the points that they say. These are just little tricks. They're like, oh, yeah, I am looking for financial freedom. They don't even know they said that 10 minutes ago. And then you start speaking to them on a whole nother level. It just goes deeper and deeper. And so I take notes that whole time and pull up those points that they're saying. And then when I go back and tell them all the reasons why, when I go through these pillars, I only use the things that they've told me. So that first 2 minutes when you're forming that conversation, that's when you really that's when you're going to really determine whether or not you're going to make that sale. And I don't care if they sign up on the spot or not. But typically, if you do that first 2 minutes of forming very well, by the time they feel that you're really interested in it, those guards are down and they're going to join. Whether it's now, tomorrow, the next day, or when they get their money. Because if you do the presentation right, if you get Ricky, Nathan, or I, or Dr. Eric, or Kat on the phone, right? If you get these people on the phone, then we're gonna do it the right way. And the only reason why they wouldn't join is if they don't make the decisions in their house, or they don't have the financial means to do it. Otherwise, there's no reason why you wouldn't. Everything about this is phenomenal. The products, Dallin, the team, the timing. Like, it's an opportunity in a lifetime, the perfect storm. So yeah.
And all of that, again, the little playbook, how to conduct a three-way call with a leader, all of what we just talked about is on here. So make sure you use that as a reference.
Okay, so let's talk about objectives, right? So I want you guys to ask questions. I mean, what are some things that you might be getting that you're stuck on? I mean, the crazy thing is when I posted that who's having a hard time making calls, my phone blew up, my personal Facebook blew up, even the news feed blew up. Everybody's starving for this, and then I get you on a Zoom call and nobody talks. I get you in a room, nobody talks. I'm like, how can I help y'all if you don't talk to me? Because it's hard for me to teach if I don't know the audience I'm teaching to. And so that's why I took tonight from my children to be with you guys to really dive in and get some feedback.
I have a quick, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
When you were talking about earlier, when you were calling someone that's a little bit closer than someone you can just shoot a video to, that you want to talk to a little more personally, and don't want to, how would you go about not making it too lengthy or too saying too much, and then get them the information that you as a leader want them to have before you get on the call? How would you lead into a three-way call with your leader if the video isn't part of that?
So you're doing everything at once, is what you're saying. So you picked up the phone, you talked to your friend, you're telling her your why, right? And then right then you want to call your leader?
So at that point, that's what I was asking.
Okay.
At that point, you would say, okay, now can I send you something? And then set up another call later, or?
Yeah, so you're not planning to show the whole presentation at that time. Right. So no different, you're calling, you're sharing your why, because you didn't show the video, and say, hey, listen, so I want to show you a visual presentation for you to watch, and then I want to circle back and just talk to you about what you've seen. And then when you call her back, I mean, the main thing too is just be honest with your friend. Just say, I'm so new at this, but I want you to see it the way that I saw it, because if I show it to you any other way, or if someone showed it to me any other way, I wouldn't have got it. I wouldn't have understood it, I wouldn't have seen the opportunity. So I don't want to do you injustice and show me try to tell you, because I'm going to mess it up. I think your friend would be like, okay, that's cool. So hold on a second, I actually have my business partner, she's going to jump in, hold on, and just click over.
Well, my first exposure was we didn't have the videos yet or anything,
No?
so
Okay.
it was so early on. I'm still just trying to feel.
Right, because and remember, whatever you show that person is what they're going to do. And so her struggle is that when she first joined,
It was that momentum builder.
there was on Facebook. Yeah, so the 80-20 rule on that, guys, so you guys know, please don't use your Facebook 100%. 80% is other, right? Motivational, things that inspire, 20% business. Because if you start flooding your Facebook, people are just gonna defriend you.
And one other thought there is be a movie, not an infomercial, if you're gonna use Facebook. So when you turn on your TV and there's an infomercial, you know you're being sold, you know what the product is, and you know you can sit there and watch it for another 15 minutes, or you can just make up your mind whether you want it or not, right? Because it's an infomercial. So the movie, you get intrigued, and you have to stay till the end until you can get to the final, finale to know what's going to happen. Be a movie, not an infomercial on social media.
To piggyback on that, what do you think about the Facebook Paseo by whoever pages that I've been seeing now?
I think that's okay because it's separate than your personal. That's totally business. If you guys ever want to know like what I suggest, look at my Facebook. Like you won't see pictures of the Paseo. I mean, you'll see little things here and there. Or go to my my Instagram, Miss Francoise, MIS Francoise. You go there. I have little pieces of my life in every aspect. I want people to come and ask me. I don't want to shove my life down people's throat, right? You'll see a good balance of family, fitness, Paseo, but I always put it where they're texting. I get, people don't know my big story, right? So these people have no clue whether my story is as big as yours is as big as mine. But they're saying, what do you do? So you want people to look at your life and be enticed by it. What does she do? She's traveling. Wait, now she's here and she's doing that. And so they come to you. So you'll find the people that are looking instead of you just Paseo, 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 Paseo. And it's like, again, like really? Like how many pictures of Paseo do you really need? People see it. They're watching, right? You don't have to do it every single day. 80-20, 80-20. Yeah. So, what Kat's next one? Go ahead.
Sorry, just to finish the thought there though really quickly,
Right.
is just to finish the thought with you. One thing you're talking about people that are close to you where you want to be a little more personal or whatnot, I still would recommend using a phone. Because if you try to do it in person, then it's really hard to extract yourself out of a conversation.
So after you get a leader for the connect and you do your story and the person on the other end of the prospect is still unsure, the climax,
Right?
when the leader gets off the phone for the connect, how do you transition into, because now it's just you and the person, so it's your friend who they are okay to say no to, but are somewhat, hesitant saying no to somebody else that they may not know. How do you transition the conversation for the next exposure? Because you don't want to leave a phone call saying, okay, well, I'll see, I'll talk to you later. You want to be like, okay, when's the next time that we could talk about this, whether it's a product you may be interested, or would you like to go meet everybody for an event? Like, how would you transition? Therefore, it's still keeping
Right.
them
So the
engaged.
question is, once the connect is done, the leader speaks. What do you do next after they hang up? It's like a dark space. Like what? Okay. So if you're you're on a call with a leader that knows what they're doing, most likely they're ending it right there. So if you're on the call with me, I'm going to say, I'm literally, okay, we're done. There's nothing more to discuss. We've got to the end of where they're at and what they want to do, whether they need to get more information, whether they're signing up. So I'll usually say, are you ready to go ahead and get started? Do you want me to save you spot in organization? Get you spot in organization. And so I'm closing it. And at that time, guys, please don't talk. Because there's so many times they're ready to sign up and then they ask another question, we're off on the other left field now, we're totally doing something different. So at that point they're like, well right now I think I need X, Y, and Z. And whether those are documents, so then I'll say Kat, okay, so all right, well Kat, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off, go ahead and schedule a follow-up. I'll remind her to schedule a follow-up and go ahead and get X, Y, and Z videos to her. Can you do that? Yeah. Okay, well it's nice meeting you. You're in good hands with Kat. She's amazing. I edify her again and then I go. When I hang up, she's reinforcing everything I just said. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna send you these videos. Can we circle back? When can you watch the videos? When will you have time? Ask them what, just don't shove things down their throat. Like, okay, well, do you have time tonight? Do you want to jump back on the phone tonight? Or how about tomorrow? Maybe around 1 or maybe in the evening. She's just scheduling that follow-up and that's where you go. And so say Kat this is her second exposure. She might say, well, we're actually having a meeting on Wednesday. It's powerful. And talk it up. It's powerful. You can come really see what's going on. And if you're not local, invite them to watch on YouTube, right? Get them on YouTube. It's these stories on Wednesday nights are amazing. right? If you're here, they're amazing. You might come a lot, you might see it, but the first time, that first exposure, someone's seen these meetings, they walk away really, really happy and feeling like, wow, this is a culture, I want to be a part of that. So always to the next exposure. Every time you're done, make sure you're always showing the second time. Usually, guys, 7 times before they say yes. Anything you want to add?
No, that's good.
Okay, we have another question.
I got a quick one. Ashley had an example today where she had spoke with a friend about the business, had sent over the link to a friend and scheduled a call for 1:30, and then at 1:15 her friend texted back and said she wasn't interested. How would you follow that up?
Okay. Yes, I've had those. So if someone had scheduled a time with me, and we had a scheduled time at 1:30, and then at 1:15 I get a text saying, nope, I don't want to do it, I'm not interested. What I would do is say, well, actually, I would not text anything back, I would pick up the phone and call. Because now they need to hear your passion and your why again, and you need to say, hey, there's no pressure here, I just want to show it to you, because in a year from now, if I'm making a lot of money, I just want to know that I've showed everyone I care about. I don't care if you do this or not, but at least know what you're saying no to. Like, just don't say no. Like, at least look at it, right? Or not only that, you're my friend and I love you. Like, I want to share with you what I'm doing. I mean, can you just, 15 minutes is all I have. Can you do that, 15 minutes? I'll be really quick. I need the practice anyway. Make it a joke. Make it fun. Don't be really salesy. Don't make it so, like, businessy and structured. You know what I mean? Like, make it fun. Look, girl, I love you. I just want to show this to you. You can't give me 15 minutes. Like, really? That's how I would have probably done it like that. How about you?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Would you be like, hey girl? Hey girl.
That's exactly what I said.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's good. You know Teresa really well, by the way. All right, any other questions?
But I guess one thing I'll add, at the end of that, if you try that and they're still just insistent, then you just say, well, they saved you time, so there you go.
Yeah.
But keep them on the list, love on
Keep
them,
them on
and
the
down the list, down the road sometime might be the right time to follow up.
How about when you have someone scheduled for a call and they don't answer?
Oh my gosh, you're in my world now.
Right? Yeah, go ahead.
That's through the Cozy?
Huh?
Is that the Cozy app you were talking about when you said to get connected to through
Yeah, so the Cozy app that's something I use because I don't have somebody managing my schedule. So
Okay.
so say 5 of you all ask me for Connect and I'm on a Connect and I'm saying yes, then I say yes to all of you and then I look in Cozy and I know where I'm at. So the next time someone actually says, can you do this time? I look in the Cozy and see, okay, I've already said yes, right, to this person at this
Okay.
time. But you never put anything in the Cozy until you confirm with me first.
Okay.
Because I might say yes to you, and then someone else had already put it in there that I didn't say yes to, now I'm double booked.
Okay.
And so 30 minutes is what I usually keep these slots for. If I'm really double booked, I can do it in 15, but I like to keep, a
Because
good.
I never heard of that Cozy until you said it, and then I just like Google played it or whatever. and
Okay,
so-
it's the scheduling, yep, and it should, I think we talk about it in the training here.
Are you the only leader using the Cozy?
No, all the leaders have it.
Okay.
Kat, Nathan, we all use it, yep. So there's a color that comes up, and then you click on that person's color.
Okay.
Okay, and if you don't know how to use it, get with the person that's, whoever's, your mentor, and then we'll show you, or just call me, I'll show you.
Do you want me to hit a little bit on what to do if they don't answer the phone?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give credit to Ray Higdon for this because I've used something similar in the past.
Oh, wait, before you go.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
how you get into the Cozy, okay? Cozy app on your phone, do not create an account. Do not create an account, you have to use our username and password, okay? Username is our email, ucrewnation@gmail.com, password ucrewnation for everyone. And this is on the Getting Started training tab on the Ucrew Nation page.
All right, so, and you don't have to necessarily write this down. If this resonates, we can send it to you. But so you call, you had an appointment time, you call and they just don't answer. So I personally like this approach, so you can see if this passes your request or not. Hey Joe, we were supposed to speak at 1 o'clock. Just give me a call. Give me a call when you have a chance. Probably not going to get a call back. If they're intentionally avoiding you, you're not going to get a call back. So 24 hours later. Hey Joe, left you a message yesterday. We were supposed to speak at 1 o'clock. Hey, let me know if you are okay. I just want to make sure you're okay. Give me a call when you get a chance. Hopefully everything is all right in your world. By the way, if this is something you just decided you don't want to do or whatever, just let me know and we'll save each other some time. No big deal. your odds of getting a call back go up to about 30%. Then skip a day, so 48 hours after that. Hey Joe, left you a couple messages. Seems to me like this is something you're not interested in talking about, and that's totally cool. I'm going to mark you off the list, but wish you the best of luck and hope things are going well for you. And I won't be calling you about this again, but I do wish you luck. Thanks so much. Bye for now. You're taking it away at that point. It's a little bit of posture. Your odds have gone up to about 60%. So it's a nice posture. You're calling them out that you've done the right thing, you've been professional, you've followed up, and they haven't. But you're not sticking around, and you're onward and upward. And so it's a very kind of pleasant way to deal with someone who just hides on you, right?
I think that's good. Yeah, the fortune in the follow-up though, also, there are people that told us no. There's people that, ignored us for like a year, and it just was like the wrong time. And prime example is just me and my husband. Like, my friend showed it to me for 7 years. She must have invited me to 20 events. Like the events on Wednesday night, it was like, hey, we're having an event on Wednesday, you should come. Crickets. Hey, we're doing this at my house, you should come. No call back. Hey, you're gonna come? Yeah, I might make it. No show, right? And so that was me. All those people that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna give up on them. But it just wasn't right in my life. My life was way too crazy. I had 2 kids at home. I didn't see the value in it. It wasn't my time. But 7 years later, we were the only couple that ever hit diamond. She built a business of, I think she made $500,000 a year when I met her. Right? And she showed me this, and we were the first person she ever signed up as a consumer. And then 7 years later, we built the business and made her $300,000 last year. So the fortune's in the follow-up, like really, like $300,000 for that persistence. And that's why my husband, I think, is the best in business, because he doesn't take them. That's how he got me. He was like, no, every time I said, no, I don't want a boyfriend, I don't want this, he was like, nope, just keep on going. And so he jokes about it all the time, but it's true. But no, he's very persistent. And so that's one thing I want you guys to say, is that you're just trying to find them at 12 o'clock midnight. If they're at 3 o'clock, you can't make them at 12. And so you're just always checking back, keeping that line of communication open. If you see them in the gym and they totally didn't answer your calls and didn't show up, be like, oh, I missed you the other night, but don't make it weird. Keep it like there's just a friendship revolving door, and then they'll come back when they're ready. Promise.
Francois, can you talk about the people that maybe just overthink everything? That's what I'm asking about.
The ones that are you're calling?
You're calling and you're explaining things to them, they're just overthinkers.
Right, so like more business or product or business, okay. So I'm trying to figure out.
Are they getting lost in the weeds? Is that what you mean? Like they keep
Some of them act like
asking?
they're for $1 million. I mean,
Right, to some people, it's like you get all the way through it and then the $49.95 is the whole, is the deal or the, like the snag or something. But they're just you can tell they're just overthinking.
Take it away. Yeah, I would take it away. I would take it away. When I get to a person that is just kind of negative and they're finding every excuse, well, I'm glad that I would really thank them for their time, but maybe this isn't right for you, and it's really just simple. The business is simple. It's whatever their snag is, I would just somehow make it positive, right? Turn it into something positive and be like, but no, I really respect your time. Thank you for listening, but maybe this isn't right for you, and I would just let it go. Because if you sit on the phone and just go back and forth, it becomes like a battle, right? Rebuttal back and forth, and they're going to find any reason to not join, regardless of the products, regardless of Dallin, regardless of the team, what their neighbor did, or a friend that they've lost a lot of money in the business. They're going to find something, and you don't want them in your business anyway, because you're going to be carrying them on your back the whole time, and they're going to be negative.
And by calling their bluff, though, they're either going to just go away, or they're going to be like, "Oh no, wait a minute, wait a minute."
It
Right?
happens.
So either way, you're okay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I was very analytical. I was a no, persistent, she didn't like me over the phone.
They were just beginning dating too, and she was telling my brother not to do it.
Yeah. And, but here's the thing though, she took it away from me, but she kept talking to Fabian and me. That's a bluff, because my experience in the past was the only thing that was holding me back. So when I saw Fabian emerging, I'm like, all right. And then
Yeah,
Yeah.
the takeaway, the car
So a
salesman.
lot of that indifference, a lot of times will help with that.
And your
Be very
posture,
different
guys.
people.
It's your posture, right? Well, you know something, fine, this might not be for you, Barbara, but thanks for your call. You know, if anything ever changes and you want to hear more, whatever, you're always welcome to call me, whatever, you know.
And the key is don't let it oppress you.
No.
Yes, next. Who cares?
And that's where you don't have that commission breath, right? Because you're not trying to sell them your opportunity. You're trying to sort through people to find out who's ready for your opportunity and who they want to work with.
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to be at that spot, like Francois said.
But
Right.
people act like you're trying to ask them for like $1 million to invest in your business, and it's like, why is network marketing so scary when they'll go and put tens of thousands of dollars into something that's probably going to fail? It just doesn't make any sense to me, it never has.
No, they don't understand.
May I make a comment on that?
Yes.
It's all in what you say, how you say it. Everything that you said thus far is on point. Not everybody in here is probably what they would consider a salesperson. But if you think about what Francois has said, we network every single day. Black Friday, Yellow Friday, what do you call that, the Monday stuff, Cyber Monday. I mean, you network every single day. Why not get paid for it? And just the choice of words. I mean, if someone, like for me, I love all music, but if it's an artist that I don't like, no matter what that person says, it's gonna get me to go hear that artist sing. So it's just the choices of words.
Yeah. You guys just gotta listen more and talk less. I think if you listen more and talk less, you'll do so much better. When I stopped talking on my connects and just listening, every time they'll join because you've heard what they're looking for. Remember, delivering solutions is so powerful because it means exactly, we need to find how we could be a solution in their life, period. If you don't find anything, you can't solve anything, so we don't have anything to offer them. We'll come back, right? And be okay with a no. The more no's you get, the bigger your business will be. Really. Like, we go for the no's, and if you guys aren't reading books, you should totally read books. But go for the no's. Like, if you get 20 no's that day, that's awesome, because the more you do something, a ratio appears. So the way they say it is 1 out of 10. So when you first start, you have to sit down with 10 people before you get 1. The more you do it, you'll get a better ratio, right? So you start getting 2 out of 10. It's great. 3 out of 10 in network marketing, you're a millionaire. So if you're getting 3 out of 10, you're doing fabulous. But sometimes people give up before you get to the yes because they had to go through 9 no's. And their mindset wasn't right, so they gave up. And so that's why we say your mindset has to be right, because it's so disheartening when you're calling a friend and you're pouring out all your excitement and love and passion, they're like, no. And you're like, why don't you see what I see, right? But it's just not their time. They're not at 12 o'clock midnight. They don't need anything, right? They're not hungry. You want the hungry. And so that's one big thing, is just get through the no's, be okay with the no's. It's part of the business. If you're going to last, just whatever.
One last thing.
Mhm.
Is there baby this year?
My brother? No, he's watching the kids. Yeah, so that's
You just said baby, that's fine.
That's baby. Oh, yeah.
Well, tell him I said hi. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a product question. I noticed that it's vegetarian and not vegan. Is that something like, that would be a hurt for my brother, who's a crazy vegan nut job, but he's a great salesman and he would sell this thing, but it's not vegan, so he would even consider it. I don't even know if that's correct, if that can be answered. Is that something, is that?
I don't have the answer to that. I would go to productquestions@viseo.com.
Okay.
Do you know the answer?
I think, well, I've used this as a business tactic. If you said your brother, is he business minded?
Oh, he's brilliant, yeah.
I would take him out of the picture. I'd be like, look at the world and look at what they need versus what you need. And the supply, like you have the supply for the demand. So it may be something personally you may not want to personally choose, but look at the circle of friends you have. Are they vegan? And then he'll start thinking back like, you know what, you're right, it's just me. But I can probably sell this to everybody else though.
Yeah, with him that wouldn't work, but I hear your point. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like some people might have a franchise that they might be alert, like you might own a Chick-fil-A franchise, and like me, I was actually going to open a Chick-fil-A franchise. We were looking, and I don't eat chicken, so do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that scenario. Like, but I know it's a business and it's good chicken, right? And so I would sell it. But yeah, I mean, there's people that work for companies that are for females and they sell female stuff and they're male. So it's just if you're business minded, you know.
So I have a question. So for me, the objection often is, well, you're an attorney, why would you do something like this? And you're successful, you have your own law firm, I mean, and so I kind of get insecure because, you know, it's kind of also a stab at my career as well. I mean, you must not be
They're
successful.
dream crushers,
if
you
you're
have
doing
to meet
that.
people like that.
So how do you get beyond the, well, you know, you have this professional career.
Okay,
But
so
you're doing that for
you're
fun.
successful, her question is, you're someone successful, she's an attorney, and her friends are looking at her, kind of being condescending, like, why are you doing this? Well, because millionaires and billionaires have 7 streams of income, right? Why have all of your eggs in one basket? And that's what I would say, is like, what, I'm into multiple streams of income, aren't you? Like, look at them like, what do you have coming in? Like one business? What happens when that one business goes down? All your eggs in that basket. People who make a lot of money have a bunch of streams. My husband and I, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streams of income, right? We don't have all our eggs in a basket because that happened to us once. You know what happened? We went bankrupt. We have $400 in our bank account because we had everything in one basket and we've learned. So you say, yeah, I'm interested. Aren't you into making money when you sleep? Right? Because I know that on our team, like say Rob Day, right? Rob Day is launching over in South Africa. Or, you know, we have a team growing guitar. When we're sleeping, they're making us money. How is that not cool? How is that not cool? When I'm sleeping, I'm making money. What are you doing? You're working to a 9-to-5 job, and you're getting paid for exchanging hours for dollars for the rest of your life. You're going to work your rest of your life. You do that. I'm going to do this, and we're both going to arrive somewhere in 10 years. Let's see where we're both going to arrive, right? And so your posture is what's going to sell them, and your belief. And the way that you're going to fix that, what you just said is you felt insecure, mindset training. Because you have to be strong and you have to have that posture that only comes with mindset training. If you don't, they'll destroy you every time. Because I get a lot of them. Oh, you're doing that network marketing? Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah. And then I rebuttal, and that's just for being in that right mindset. Yes.
The 2 people that I did have replies back to that said they would watch the videos are actually business owners themselves. Whether it's like a health and wellness, which I totally thought he would jump on board, and then he was like, yeah, I'll watch the videos, and then I was like, oh, what's your number, so I can, you know, put it in my phone and have no reply from
Is this on my Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. Get off of social media as fast as you can. So the minute you talk to somebody, right, and you say, hey, listen, I have an opportunity, less is more. Do not write a paragraph. If you guys are writing a paragraph, you're doing something totally wrong. If you did something in your newsfeed and you got an instant message back and they said, yeah, I'm interested, I want to know more. Cool, what's your phone number? Off of social media.
Yeah, because I don't have everybody's number who's
Right.
in my feed, so I was trying to get a phone number, and then it was like.
Yes. Did you
crickets
send the
off of
video first?
that. Yes.
Okay, so now they've got what they wanted.
Okay.
Right, so don't give up anything until you get what you want, right? And so what I do is get their phone number, and if I'm talking to when I sign up people like 15, I haven't seen in 15 years or so, I'm like, hey girl, what's your phone number? And I get their phone number first, and I do everything through texting. So get off, you can use social media, but get off there as soon as possible, because you end up doing that. And so if I send a video, I'm scheduling a time to follow up first. Right? So, hey, listen, I'm going to send you the video. What time can we circle back? Because I want to talk to you after you watch this video. What time is good? And you're doing this by text, and they're like, 2 o'clock is good. Okay, I'm sending the video now. I'll talk to you at 2.
That's the key.
yeah.
Don't send it until you have the follow-up time.
Or,
don't send it.
yeah, or if you feel like the video's not working for you, get them on the phone, do the connect, then send the video after. And just say, okay, well, I'm going to send you a visual. Because you want to do what's working. Like, the best is to give them a visual before. But if you're not having success, we need to figure something out, because that's insanity. We're doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same results. And everybody has a different pitch, and there's so many components to each part of the presentation that's different for each person. But if you follow that system, I don't care which way it goes, first, second, or third, video first, video last. If you do all those 3 things, it's a system. So that's why I put this the action sheet up today for you guys to look at. You know, as we close, like, you guys, when people join your business, the first 72 hours are the most excited they'll ever be. Get them connected. If you're working for 3 days, get them connected with a leader. Get them connected with Ricky and I. If you have a team, does anyone have a team over 10 people in this room? Okay. Yeah, and so I've talked to you, I have not talked to you, I've usually talked to you. If you have a team of 10 and out of your 10, right, your goal is to find 2 people, one on both legs, and make them strong. And so if you're new and you're a leader, like you've grown so fast and you've done these companies before, but you're also a very busy mom with a full-time job. Use us. Give me names of people that have it, that are all in, that when you tell them to do something, they do it. Call to action. As your team gets bigger, guys, you can't sew into everyone. There are life suckers, there's time suckers, you have families, you have to prioritize. And the way I prioritize my team, I don't call them every day. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Give them a task. If they do it, put a gold star by their name. If they don't do it, they're not ready. They're not at 12 o'clock. They like the idea, right? No different than I'm ready to lose weight, but are they going to the gym? Probably not, right? So it's the ones that are really taking action. And so for you, if you have 10 people on your team and you say, Lisa and Joe really have it, Francoise, can you help mentor them? Can you join me in helping them? Because I have more time to help them. Just like Derek, right here. Derek's new, Rob Day's team. I got partnered up with Rob. We've developed Rob. Now I'm not calling Rob anymore. Rob knows what to do. Now I'm looking for someone to help him. So leaders on top of leaders is what we want to build. I do not want anyone in this room following me. I want to build leaders. And so I could build followers, right, that will come here and everyone sit at my feet, but that's not what I want. I want you all to have the same success. So we find the leaders on top of leaders. So that's what we need to find with you, and that's what we've done with you. You have Dan, and you have so many leaders on your team. And they'll rise automatically. So you can't make your friend be a leader. I talked to a girl today, she's like, I call my team every single day, and I talk to them to see what they're doing. They're doing nothing. If you guys don't leave here and make calls, I don't care how many trainings you come to, nothing will happen. You have to take action. Do not wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow will not come. Don't wait for the holiday to be over. Don't wait for your kids to get through football. Do it now. Don't even say later today, because that's later today. Say, I'm going to get up, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes, and I'm going to make calls. Make 20 calls. I don't care if I get yeses, I don't care if I get downtones, I don't care, I'm just going to do it. And do it now, right now. Don't let this pass you by. It's an opportunity of a lifetime, guys. Like, I sew into this so much because I know this doesn't happen very often, to have this perfect storm. You guys are on the #1 team in the company. You have Ricky and I, you have Nathan, you have powerful business builders that have been successful, that are wanting to help you. I don't care if you have 2 people on your team. If you have that, if you've made that decision, we'll help you just the same if you have 20 people on your team. And I hope you guys all know that, because everybody's journey is different. Nathan had a long journey, right? You went through a few in the beginning of our last company, right?
Last company, yeah.
Yeah, and
I tried to do it my way.
he tried to do it his way, right? And so when you start leveraging and people see how easy it is and there's a system, people will join because they feel like they have that support. All right, anything else before we close up? Yes, hi.
So, kind of going off what we were talking about earlier, with friends, peers, and just prospects that are interested in the founders packet. And, they're all about it. They like the product. They like what they see. The numbers are there. But then again, they're on the fence and they're asking, why are they going to sign their life away? You know what I mean? Like, why do they need to keep putting in the 160 points, the 240? Like, how do you close someone on that?
Well, I mean, any business, there's overhead. Our company does all the heavy lifting. You have a back office, right? They ship the products. You don't have to package the products, all that. So that's actually such a small fee, right? So every company has overhead. So I look at that 80 points a month is my overhead. 160 points is my overhead. Last year, and you use these examples, facts tell, stories sell. Get some stories in your book. Write them down. Use them. Just say, my business partners, they came into this. They talk about our story. Say they came in, they spent $1,500, right? And they made $34,000 their first week, right? What their overhead was for that week or for that month was $115. Really, my last company, I bought a $40 membership fee, $2,400 I think it was for just a regular pack of products, not a founder. And that year, right, I spent, I think, what was it, 125? Right, 125 a month. I made over 6 figures, and I went to Australia, Cancun, Taipei, Taiwan, and Korea for free. Probably $300,000 of stuff, and probably spent $3,000 that year. And like I said, people are gonna find a way. If they don't wanna
Yeah.
do it, they're gonna find an excuse.
Keep
Take it
asking
away.
questions.
So like, dude, this is a huge opportunity. You can't open a business. If you were to go buy a McDonald's franchise for $250,000, like, you might not make $1 back. And this guy's signing his life away for $1,500, he's not business minded, right? Honestly, not. The guy's not business minded. He might say he is, but he's not, because it's such a small investment. And he can sell every one of those products if he wanted to. Sell them all. Then he got a founder's pack for free, right? So I mean, it's like, really? So don't get caught up on the no's and negativity. There are dream crushers, especially family, unfortunately. The people who are closest to you, they try to protect you. They don't know what they're doing. Don't take advice from people who haven't done anything in the business or has never done the business, right? Take advice from people that actually are successful. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, anything else before we close?
I said, because it's been a common thing, is I want, people will say, it doesn't sound really good, I just really, we're just super busy right now, I just don't even have any spare minutes at all.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay, so her question was, I'm just really busy right now, I don't have time for this. And what I always say is, you're the person I'm really looking for, right? And you sound like you want to say
Busy
negative.
people get something. I want to say there's on this, the how to respond to common objections, there's a little example in there that I like to use, right? About, it illustrates the power of leverage. Like, so you find out, well, how much time could you give? Everyone can give something, right? No matter how busy you are. So how much time could you actually give? There, go down.
Pyramid scheme. I love that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So too busy right here. So, find out what time they can use and walk through the example of if you give us this much time, and make sure they understand how the system works. All they're doing is inviting someone to take a look and getting us on the phone. Can you give us this much time? Okay, well, if you keep giving us this much time, can we find 2 people eventually, right? And usually they'll say, okay, yeah, we found 2 people. Okay, well then let's add those 2 people. Well then, you layer on the time that they can be spending. Can we help them find 2 people?
So let's do an example. Okay, so I think this will be better because it's hard when you're explaining it, but I know it's so good. So Nathan, thanks for thinking of me, but honestly, like, I have no time right now. Both of my kids are in after school activities. I'm running around like a taxi cab. My husband works all the time. He actually travels. I have to go grocery shopping right now. I actually don't have time to talk to you on the phone, so I'm not good for this. I wish you the best, but I'm not good.
So here's the thing, Francoise. I've always heard it said, if you want something done, find a busy person because they will make sure it gets done. So you are exactly the kind of person we're looking for. And I am a person that was too busy to find time, but I have made this work and I'm so glad that I did. So here's what I'd like you to think about. Everyone can find some time. So on a weekly basis, how many hours do you think you could give? Is it 2 hours, 5 hours?
Nathan, I don't have any time. Like, I feel like I work all the time.
Okay, I'm sure you do, but you can find some time. So I'm going to bet that we could get you to spend 2 hours a week on the course of a whole week. Could be some on the weekend, it could be during the week, and all I need you to do is be able to call some people and ask them to take a look at a short video and then schedule a time to get on the phone with me. And I will get on the phone with them and talk them through the business. So if you spend 2 hours a week, do you think we'd be able to eventually find 2 people going through that process?
Well, I do drive an hour each day to and from work, so I guess I can make calls then.
Okay. So if we find 2 people, then let's say they're really busy too, and they can only give 2 hours a week. But
Right.
now you have, after you find those 2 people, you now have 6 hours a week working on your business. They're giving 2 each, you're giving 2. So same thing.
So I only have to find 2 people?
So that's all at the minimum. That's where you start. So we take those 2 people. We will help them find 2, and that's what we do. We work with them, and then they each find 2. Now you've got.
Well, how are they going to find 2? Like, I don't have time. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do
We
it.
teach them how to follow this simple process. The same thing we're going to ask you to do, and we will train them, and we have tools and training that shows them how to do it. So we will help them find 2, just like we helped you find 2. If you can do it, they can do it, and we will be the ones that will help them do that. And I'll play the same role with them. We give them the same attention we give you. So we'll get on the phone with their prospects, and we'll explain as well. So now, by the time those those 2 people have each found 2 themselves. Now you've got 14 hours a week working on your business, right? And that's the power of leverage. It keeps growing and growing and growing. We find those people, we follow the same duplicatable process, and we keep working that through. Meanwhile, you are still only working 2 hours a week on the business. And now you've already got 14 hours a week being worked on your business while you're being too busy.
Right. And so what I'll usually do is dissect their life. Like, what does your normal day look like? Right? And so like, say I wasn't open to giving that information about my drive. Like, I say, you know, I was in your shoes, I'm always busy, and I don't want to work for the rest of my life. I mean, do you? And I'll usually kind of put something out there to resonate with them, like touch them here and say like, you know, in 10 years from now, do you really still want to be doing what you're doing now? Like never having any time running around with your head cut off? Like, is this really what you want? Like, this is an opportunity for you to experience leverage income, right? And my friend, like, she makes X amount, she stays home with her kids. Like, I know that you would love some more time, and this is something that you're not going to be doing alone. And I think it's powerful to let that person know, because sometimes they're just so scared. So say, you know, you're not going to do this alone. You're not just going to buy a package of products, expect, you know, for just to build this on your own. I'm going to help you. Like, we're going to help you. Like, if you could just put an hour or 2 in this a week, right, I can help build you something. Think about it. You know, would an extra $200 be something you'd be interested in? $1,000? What would that do to your household? It's easy to make $1,000 a month here. Once you build that momentum, guys, in the beginning it's like going up a hill. It's hard to push, but once you start building it, it starts to go. And you'll start seeing those residuals come in. And when you see those residuals, it's when you get to your 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th generation. So if you're signing people up, digging deep is super important. So when you're talking to your friend, you're like, we're going to help build a team. Like, all you need to do is find 2 people, and then we're going to help train them for you. And so you only have to put in those 2 hours. And then we'll just help them. And now you're experiencing leverage income, because when you're working, doing all those crazy things, being a taxi cab service, our team's helping them. And by the time Friday comes where you have an extra hour to put into it, your 2 friends that you signed up could have went and told 10 people. And now you're making a percentage off of that. So I'm like, all you're doing is, what I always say is you're starting a vending machine company, you know, and these products are that good that people are going to want to try them, and it's going to spread. So, you know, you're going to hear about this. I usually say, you're going to hear about this in 6 months, probably 4 or 5 people are going to present it to you. And you just have an opportunity of hearing it now. And like I said, you're in control of your own business. You can put 10 hours a day, you know, 10 hours a week, 2 hours a week. You can stop for a week. It doesn't matter, because the business still grows. And so try to dissect it, and if they still say no, but it's okay, well maybe, you know, let me check back with you in 2 months. That next exposure. Don't ever say, okay, bye. All right, well, I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm going to check back with you in 2 months, see what's going on then. All right, maybe we should do lunch and like soften it up, because if you're going back and forward, you feel like there's been a lot of rebuttals, and your face is flushed, and you know their face is probably flushed, you don't want to ruin a friendship, but you're really just passionate and want to share your heart and hopefully make them see, but they can't see because it's like they have blinders on and earmuffs on their heads. You're like, I just want to shake you, right? But like if that's a moment, that next exposure. Yeah, good job. All right, guys, want any more? We're good? All right, for those of you who are standing, you're awesome. I would just be sitting on the floor. Thank you guys for coming. I'm so proud of you.